Hello, I'm Kiran and welcome to my woodworking channel. This one is particularly exciting for me because I bought a new tool. It's the Bosch it's the Bosch Track Saw. I thought I'll capture the process of unboxing this tool, also provide my initial impressions of this tool. If that's something interests you, stick around. I looked at 3 track saws: the Makita track saw, the Festool, and the Bosch. Unfortunately for Festool, I was only considering their TS55, their lower level track saw. I saw a video that did a comparison of that Festool TS55 and this saw, and it turned out that this had way more power than the Festool. Truly, to be equivalent of this saw, you had to get the TS75, which was way more expensive and out of my budget. Festool has the riving knife, which is super nice. It gives you that clean cut. But I think this, with the thin rip blade, it can be comparable. So that's what I'm hoping to find out. I'm gonna bring the camera in closer and start unboxing this thing. It's a really well made box. Okay. And there is the tool. I'm gonna put the camera back on the tripod and take the saw out. It has a 13 amps motor at 110 volts, which is really good power. It's really nice foam holders for the saw, specifically shaped for this. So that was all in the box: the track saw itself, the dust port, and a product registration card, and 2 different manuals. This is very interesting because you can see the US model number here, GKT13225. That's the one that I bought. And this is the, I believe it's the European model number, GKT55GCE. This means that this saw is probably made somewhere in Europe. Since I don't have any experience using a track saw, I quickly read the manual. It is pretty straightforward. If you used a circular saw, you should be able to use a track saw. At the time I bought this saw, this was $600 US. It does not come with a track. I don't know if Festool comes with a track. You can buy a track kit as a combo that comes with 2 63 inches track and a carrying case. Since I only need one 63 inches track and I don't need a carrying case because I'll be using this in my wood shop, I just only bought the 63-inch track separately. So let me capture a little close-up here of various knobs and levers. So this is the depth gauge. It flips back and forth. One to notify the depth of cut with the track and one without the track. This has both metric and imperial systems. So if you set it to 1 inch, there's this little notch that you had to push down to move it. And once it's locked, you can flip the switch to say that this is without the track and this is with the track. Also, the functionality in the back here is pretty seamless as well. There's the depth or plunge lever here. This is the switch right here for pushing it down to, as you can see, as soon as I push it, there's the blade coming out here from the housing. And there's the depth lock. So if I push it down, you hear that positive click and this pops out and the blade stays protruded. It doesn't go back. As soon as you push it back, it goes back. One of the things that I like about it is everything is so click and positive. You don't have to guess whether it's on or off. It just makes that clicking noise and gives you that positive confirmation that, yeah, I've locked in. And this is below that, where my index finger is, the saw start. There's also a nice little window to view the blade. And this, I believe, is the guard where you can see the blade coming out and making a plunge cut, and also notifies the maximum cut. If you're doing a non-through cut and you had to stop where the saw has to end. You just line it up, and then you'll know that the blade's only going to cut till that. This is especially useful if you're plunging or making an on-through cut. And in the back here, I think this is a standard dust port that all of the European companies use. The dust chute can be turned in different directions depending on which way you're making the cut. Takes my dust port that's also compatible with my Festool domino, so it's a nice thing that I don't have to worry about getting another dust port attachment. At the bottom here, flipping to the bottom, there's the track marker. This is where you attach the track, I believe, and I think this is where it locks into the track. The Bosch Track Saw is compatible with Bosch Track as well as Festool Track, so if you have any legacy type Festool track. There's also this hex key wrench that's stored nicely away here that you can use for blade changes, which I'll do in a second. I don't want to change the blade. I'm just gonna remove the blade and see how the process is. There's the miter angle indicator, angle of cut. So you can swing the saw away by loosening the knob in the front here, as well as there's a knob here in the back. So this gives you a 45-degree conformation, and you can actually override it to go to 47 degrees. Also, this swings back this way, -1 degree, which you can see here. It's the -1 degree swing. You need to push this in, and there is the -1 degree. So in the front, now it reads -1 degree. I don't know the application for that, but yeah, as soon as you loosen the knob and swing it back, this -1 degree button is locked back in. And on this side here, there's the speed control for the motor. You can go from 1 through 6. So this is really nice if you're making a cut through really dense hardwood. You can put it to slower setting so you don't burn the wood excessively. I'm gonna take the blade out, do a close inspection. So to take the blade out, I push the saw to the maximum plunge and pull the plunge lock here. That's the click. And once that's locked in, there's this another red lever that actually locks the spindle. So you hold this plunge lock and then put the wrench in and then turn it simply like that. This is a nice looking thin curved blade. I think it's fine cut. It's 48 teeth, so it should be fine enough for anything that I do. So 6.5 inches blade. I haven't really used to make a cut yet, but ergonomically it felt very comfortable. I'm going to bring in the track as well, so I know how this mounts on the track. So this is the track. This is the 63-inch track. It's called the FSN 1600. It looks pretty well made. It's aluminum and has this nice rubber splinter / marking guard. As I said, I only bought a single track. You can buy it as a kit with 2 track and a carrying case. I just need one 63-inch track, which is plenty long for me and all the rips that I want to do. But I bought this. This is the clamp system to hold the track. For all general purposes, I would say this track is pretty solid and you don't really need to use a clamp. This is the bottom of the track, and it comes with this rubber piping, and it runs through the length of the track. There's 2 of them. So this, along with the rubber pad here, provides a pretty good grip. So if I put the track like this, and if I push on it, it takes some pressure. This piping also looks very easy to replace. I think you can buy rolls of rubber pipings and have it ready. Mounting the saw on the track also is super easy. You simply align, and there's this 2 guide rails on the track here, one in the front and one in the back. You simply place it and that's a cut. So the manual says to make a first cut to actually cut off the excess here on the anti-splinter blade. I just have this 2x6, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to line up here the front of the track and the back of the track approximately to the cut line that I want. I just want to see how it's going to cut, how the dust collection performance is like, and what kind of surface it's going to end up leaving finally. So the cut is complete and the surface is looking really nice. This is the cutoff. Actually, initially I was making cut, I was a bit overzealous, so I set the depth a little more than 1.5 inches, which is the thickness of the 2x6, and I saw the sparks flying and I was like, what the heck, am I burning up the saw? Turns out the blade hit one of the screws in here on my outfeed table. So that was interesting, and then I reduced the depth, and then there were no sparks or anything. Excess cut off from the anti-splinter guard. That's the offcut. And the track is now set as 0 clearance for the track saw with that particular blade. This is where I stopped, where the blade hit the screw, so it's left a little bit of swirl. But I was impressed with the power of the saw. Initially I started with the motor setting at 1, which was okay, and then I cranked it up to 6, and it didn't stall or anything like that. Cut through the 2x6 as well as the top part of my outfeed table, and still kept going. I didn't even realize that I was cutting through 2 surfaces with that level of depth until I hit the screw. This is looking like a really nice track saw. I'm gonna get plenty of use in my shop. I'll probably not use the box because that box does take up a lot of space relative to my shop space. So I'm gonna probably put it in one of the shop cabinets that I built. It's not much bigger than the circular saw that I have. The track felt really nice. I didn't feel any movement. There was no any horizontal play when I had the saw on the track. It stayed reliably true to the guide here on the track. The 63-inch track is a little longer than my general application. I can see that this is a bit of an overkill for what I had to do, so I'll probably order a shorter track. So my plan is to make the tabletop of my outfit from end to end about 40 inches or so, and have the track on the other end. So if I line up one board on one end, I know that if I make a cross cut with the track saw, that's going to give me a 40-inch rip. That's my main goal, because as I said earlier on, I can't make a rip cut wider than 25 inches on my table saw. As I was making the cut, that I noticed that very minimal dust. This is a complete different ball game. I realized with the dust port hooked up and the dust shop vac switched on, it was sucking up most of the dust. So this literally no dust on the floor, and I saw some flying dust particles. It's not a big deal. I wear a respirator anyway, so, and I run the air cleaner and it should be all gone. So I'm really happy about that. So that's definitely a welcome change in my shop. So I'm gonna wrap this up here. I plan to build an entryway bench which has some thick slabs that I need to cut down for the seating of the bench. So I look forward to using this. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. I'll respond to them. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And please consider subscribing to my channel for more content in woodworking, shop build, and the projects that I'm going to build with all the tools that I have. Thank you for watching.